Hello everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Everybody, Cantonese Cat here. I see a lot of people trashing Ethereum and trashing Chainlink. I got somebody who sends me these comments on my post on X asking, hey, what's Chainlink doing? Can you give me an update on Chainlink? I'll give you an update on Ethereum and Chainlink. I think they're going to both do pretty well in 2025. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to probably outperform Bitcoin based on what I'm seeing. There are a few things here to look at. First of all, this is the Ethereum chart here. I just want to kind of show you on the monthly here. I cannot be bearish when you keep seeing wicks like this down below when it looks like it's a big giant ascending triangle. You can call this a bear flag, but it's always a bear flag before it breaks out to above, right? This is a big giant bear flag that has broken above. I don't really care. I see these demand wicks down here. I think these kind of downtrend here over the last few months gonna end up reversing. The entire downtrend actually happened on not much volume here at all, so it actually doesn't really take a whole lot of volume to really pump the Ethereum coin here. It also has been finding support where it needed to find support at. If you look at the Ichimoku, it's right about the Ichimoku cloud. It had a hard time breaking down underneath the Ichimoku here. Also had a hard time breaking down underneath the Supaichi cloud here. Looks like it's finding pretty decent support there. Also have a hard time breaking down the 20-month moving average. The 20-month moving average continues to be upsloping. It has been serving as support over the last few months, and it's just really been very seriously turning it from resistance over here with a negative 20-month moving average to strong support here with a rising 20-month moving average. So the bull trend is still intact, and overall, I still think that if you look at the Bollinger Band morphology, it looks like every single bull cycle, you're going to end up having this thing where you have expansion of Bollinger Band, and then followed by a little bit of a contraction, followed by a re-expansion, and then eventually you're going to end up going like crazy, right? When you have an upper and lower Bollinger Band start to expand. I don't think we've really had that euphoric sentiment. I don't think we really had that bull market for Ethereum quite just yet, and there's a lot of things that's really building up. Like the whales didn't accumulate here for about 2.5 years here just to have price go up to like 3,000 or 4,000. I think this is building up to be something big, and it could, whenever it happens, it could be pretty powerful, right? I like the fact that it's actually doing a little bit of the Bollinger Band squeeze here. It really does remind me a little bit more of Bollinger Band squeeze over here as well. So I think that a bigger move is going to come. There are a lot of things that makes me feel that way. If you also are just looking at, the 50 EMA here, 50 EMA here, it also serves as a very, very similar spot where we're here as opposed to where we're here. I think it's building up to make a pretty big run moving forward. A lot of narratives out there saying that Ethereum is an old coin. There are a lot of problems with Ethereum, and that nobody really wants Ethereum anymore because there's so many layer ones out there like Solana, like Avalanche, and a bunch of the layer ones that keeps on getting sent out, right? They all have their own problems. And if the crypto market goes up, you really can't have altcoin season without Ethereum. Like you really can't have altcoin season without Ethereum. Look at the others chart here. What we're looking at, the others chart, is really talking about the total crypto currency market cap excluding the top 10 coins. So you're not talking about Bitcoin. You're not talking about Ethereum. You're not talking about the stable coins, XRP, or anything like that. Just looking at the structure of the altcoin market, it looks like a big giant cup and handle. And the 20-month moving average has served as perfect support. I think we have bottomed back in like August. And I think that it's going up a lot higher just because of how bullish this structure really looks. Like I don't know like how else to put it. Like it just looks like it had a breakout of this trend line here and a back test. Like everything looks very, very bullish for altcoins. I think altcoins are going to go up a lot higher overall, and I think it's going to shock a lot of people. And you can't really have an altcoin season without Ethereum because it's still the biggest, and a lot of altcoins are still going to be being traded within the Ethereum network. Right now, the gas fee is super cheap, but don't be surprised if people are complaining about the Ethereum prices right now, but in about a year from now, they might be complaining about the Ethereum gas prices again. I just don't buy that, Ethereum is done. Like I just don't understand that narrative. And when I hear that narrative, actually, I'm a little bit of a contrarian. I don't like being told what to do. When I hear that narrative, actually, I'm extremely excited about Ethereum. Looking at the Bitcoin over Ethereum chart here, this is a little bit of a weird way to look at this because it's a ratio of Ethereum over Bitcoin, but yet I'm drawing it in log here. But if you look at, for some reason, it just has a really great market symmetry here. This Ethereum over Bitcoin chart, it's just been basically bounced from one arc here to another, broke through the arc here, basically backtested horizontal line over here. And this horizontal line is basically a breakout and a backtest before potentially, some further bullish continuation. It looks like we're at a spot where we should bounce from pretty hard. And also, if you're also looking at a couple other things here too, such as the wave trend oscillator, you can see what happened last time where you have Ethereum really was starting to run up a lot, right? From here in August 2020 all the way to April 2021, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin, no question, right? But this was happening on bearish divergence where the wave trend oscillator was just kind of exhausted, right? And next thing you know, Ethereum ended up underperforming Bitcoin for like 3 or 4 years after that. Right now, we're having the exact opposite. You have Ethereum over Bitcoin. Ethereum has been underperforming Bitcoin by a lot. It's just been going downtrending, right? But the wave trend oscillator is actually showing some bullish divergence. So that's also a big part of the reason because we're at a very, very strong horizontal zone over here. And because we're seeing some bullish divergence that's been building for like an entire year now. Kind of like how this bearish divergence has been building for an entire year. I think that we might be bottoming in terms of the underperformance of Ethereum with Bitcoin. And I think that with Bitcoin making this all-time high, I think Ethereum is probably going to end up running pretty hard. That's generally what happened like last cycle too. Whenever Bitcoin ends up making all-time highs, Ethereum ends up outperforming Bitcoin. I think we're at that juncture, and I think it probably will play out, but no guarantees, right? It just looks like a very bottomy candle here. But it is a downtrend. This is a very, very scary falling knife, if you will. So if you're catching Ethereum here over Bitcoin, you are catching a little bit of a falling knife, but there are a lot of reasons for you to think that I think Ethereum is probably going to outperform Bitcoin moving forward, just based on what it did the last cycle, just based on the fact that the sentiment is absolutely horrible, based on the fact that there's a lot of bullish divergence building up, and also based on the fact that the ratio of Ethereum over Bitcoin is hitting a very, very strong horizontal zone. On top of all that, I think that if you really want to talk about narrative, and I almost never do this, Ethereum, a lot of the institutions have really missed out on Ethereum over the last like 10 years. The reason why is because Ethereum has really been very, very retail heavy. Like Bitcoin, they've been slowly, like BlackRock has been slowly buying over the last couple of years, and they've been buying through like, all the fears that they put out there. They've been accumulating Bitcoin like crazy. Whereas Ethereum, they really have a hard time really trying to pry it out of retail's hands. The majority of people who own Ethereum are not institutions, and they're trying to change that. What's the best way to change hands from retail to institution? Well, you lower the price. You set expectations of it being sucky, and you lower the price, and you suppress the price, and you do what you can to get people disinterested, and you try and take them from their hands until you pump the price again and get people interested again. That's kind of what's been really happening, I think, with Ethereum. But technically speaking, I think Ethereum is still going to do pretty darn well moving forward. Like, I'm actually not seeing anything bad about Ethereum moving forward, both in terms of the fact that altcoin season is starting, and also both in terms of the fact that just based on the technicals of Ethereum alone, I think Ethereum is going to do very, very well moving forward. Let me go ahead and extend this to the right over here. So you can see that if I do a Fibonacci level, it's not doing anything unusual. All it's really been doing is just been bouncing off one Fib level to another. You have really 3 key Fib levels when it comes to technical analysis. The 0.382 generally is pretty important. The 0.618 is important, and the 0.786 is important. 0.618 is usually where price gravitates to. It's called the golden ratio. 0.382 is also a very important level where if it breaks, then it really does challenge like the higher range. And then once you break the 0.786, generally it makes all-time highs. You got rejected here at 0.786 for many, many months because they knew that, hey, we don't want to push price up that much faster, that soon, right? So they end up suppressing it, end up bring it back all the way down to 0.382. Basically a little bit of a back test of this breakout here. And so far we've been holding for about 6-7 months here, not 6-7 months. So we're holding for about 3 to 4 months here, like holding in an ascending triangle look to it. It looks like it wants to break back up above. It looks like it wants to push through the 0.786. It looks like it wants to make all-time highs. When it does, where is it going to go? I think it's going to go to, let me see here. For some reason, I have these turned off. I think it's going to go to some of the higher Fibonacci levels over here, which is the 1.618, 2.618. I also wouldn't be surprised if it hits the 3.618, right? There's another way to kind of look at this. It would be to look at the Fib levels with log. You can see with log, it basically tries to break about the 0.786, unable to do so, came back tested 0.618 for a very long time. It's been holding in 0.618 for a very long time at the golden ratio. So what it's going to do? It's going to push through the 0.786 and it's going to make some all-time highs, the 1.618 level here around 14,000. So I can totally see the end of the cycle maybe around 14,000, 15,000, somewhere around there, maybe higher. There's a potential that I don't think it's going to be like 77,000, but I think that it could potentially go even higher than that. But we'll see. Like, I don't want to be like deterministic. I just want to see how it plays out. Last time Ethereum made to its let me delete the current cycle here. Last time Ethereum made to its 3.618 almost perfectly. So we'll see whether or not this cycle ends up outperforming or underperforming. A lot of people are really sad about Ethereum. I think we're like over here where we're over here. Ethereum is at this point in September, October has like severely underperformed Bitcoin. And I think that it's just at a very similar spot, I'm not worried about Ethereum. I still hold a pretty good chunk of Ethereum. I'm going to continue to hold Ethereum. And if I'm going to add to something, I'm going to add to Ethereum and not Bitcoin at this point. Another one I want to talk about, again, people have been really worried about Chainlink for some reason. You can't really have crypto without Chainlink. Like, it's an essential component of the cryptocurrency market. And I drew the Chainlink GAN here on the weekly using 180 and 1. It gives me a pretty remarkable market symmetry here. All Chainlink is doing is it found the cycle bottom in June of 2023. It made a very powerful wave one where the price went from like $5 all the way to around 22. And it simply is forming a wave two, back testing what it needed back test. It went down wave two on this arc over here and found support here at the angle. And so far it's still holding the angle. And so far it's also even back tested horizontal line over here. So far it looks like it's holding this very confluent zone of support. So if that's the case, where is the price going to gravitate into? It's going to gravitate to a lot higher prices. This is wave one, this is wave two. Wave three is going to be the most powerful wave. Generally wave three is what we're talking about, like arc breaker. Like this wave one break, what, one, two, three, like you get to the third arc. Wave three could be an arc breaker where it could break like 1, 2, 3 and it can get to like this arc here, maybe even higher. I think there's a possibility where Chainlink, and I'm not like even kidding when I'm talking about this, I think there's a possibility for Chainlink to make some pretty ridiculous high prices that a lot of people are going to be surprised by. If Chainlink ends up making like 3.618 here around like 180, I think it's going to be a lot of tremendous gain for a lot of people. And I think it's entirely possible for it to do that. If you're doing it in a log scale here, you can see that Chainlink has simply just got rejected here at the 0.618. And it broke down underneath the 0.382. It's been trying to break back above. But I totally see this because of the way that it's progressing. If it's getting rejected at 0.618, come back down. If it pushes through 0.618 and pushes through 0.786, which I think it's going to do, and it's going to make all-time highs, and it could even potentially get to a 1.618 around 227. I think it's possible. You think it's crazy? I think it's possible. If it doesn't, some of the lower targets are here. If it pushes above the 0.618, pushes about 0.786, I think probably minimally it's going to make it to 1.61 around $82 minimally is kind of what I'm thinking. There's no guarantee. All of this is just speculation. This is based on what price action generally does if it ends up breaking certain levels. There's no deterministic. I'm not saying that you buy here is going to end up making like $227. You buy one link here like $11, right? Nobody can tell you that. But I'm not worried and my money is in it. And I see that this is normal cycle behavior and I'm not really that worried about it. Just to give you kind of some perspective here, Chainlink was 20 cents. It went all the way to like $50. over a span of about 3 years. So what I'm saying is definitely speculative, but not impossible. That's all I really wanted to say. Now, if you want to look at the technicals for Chainlink by itself, I do think that it is looking a little bit weaker than Ethereum. The reason why I say that is because it is still trying to get back above the rising 20-month moving average, where Ethereum has already gone above that. But I just cannot be bearish when you have these wicks down here below. Like, this is a very bullish formation that I think is going to end up having some bullish continuation after that. And also, I just kind of drew the Gann chart, like it's following the angle, the horizontal almost support almost perfectly. So I think the next move is going to be up for Chainlink. Anyway, just want to share with you my thoughts. I think this is still a higher high and higher low. It's going to keep going up higher, most probably. And I just gave you my targets for both Ethereum and Chainlink. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. Bye.